So it's Friday, September 13th, and I'm going to be trying to cover a lot in this video. If you can't watch it all in one sitting, just come back to it and watch the rest later. But I'm going to be covering three topics in this video. So it's the TMA Expert Advisor that's now for free through my copier service, and how I'm potentially going to retract that idea in the copier service because of potential broker issues. And that's not because the Expert Advisor isn't performing well, because it is. It's because of the broker giving me some issues here. So the Expert Advisor with a $100 account is actually doing really well, with almost 30% since September 5th. And after that, after talking about the TMA Expert Advisor and what's going on with that, I'm going to mention about this account here that you're looking at. This is the paper traded account for the private equity firm out in Europe, and what's going on with that, and when that potentially will turn into a live real account, hopefully here coming soon. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was why do most traders lose in Forex? And we're given so many different ideas of why that is, because traders don't use stop losses, or their profit taking is too high, or they have a crappy system that they're using. I have a different theory, and I think it makes a lot of sense, and I hope that it does to you as well. So let's get started in this video, and let's talk about this TMA Expert Advisor and what's going on. So I'm using Traders Way as my recommended broker, and if somebody signs up through Traders Way and use my Expert Advisor, the TMA Expert Advisor, for free, then I'm paid by the broker a small commission for every trade, or for a good majority of the trades that they use. And the problem with that is this broker is not, it allows US traders, but it doesn't allow for me to refer US traders, which is really quite strange, and I can't have that. I could potentially use another broker like FX Choice, or this one right here, which is LQDFX, but I'm actually getting a little bit frustrated with these overseas brokers because they have really crappy deposit options. Most of them it only works with Bitcoin now, because it's usually the easiest way to deposit and withdraw from these brokers now. And it's just, the leverage is nice, the 500, 1,000, some cases leverage, but it feels too much like a casino to me. So many of us out there don't have a lot of money to put towards Forex trading. $1,000 is even asking for a lot for a good majority of us. I did talk to a friend of mine over at one of the overseas brokers back a couple of years ago, and he said that 70 to 80% of the accounts are under $10,000. So a good portion of us are in the same boat of trying to grow a smaller account into a larger account. And most of us don't understand that it's not impossible, but it's a really difficult thing to do, and it basically requires 100% luck in order to achieve it. There are some traders out there, some that even are on YouTube, that claim to be professionals with growing small accounts into something large, but a good majority of those are not showing you that they're losing 10, 15, even 20 accounts before growing that account to 5,000, 2,000, 3,000% within a couple of months. So they're not showing you, they're not being honest with you, and that's why we have this awful epidemic going on where traders are taking advice from losing traders. I mean, I'm technically a losing trader at this point, and you guys are watching me. But the idea is that hopefully you're learning from my mistakes, because I actually show the mistakes that I'm making on my channel, rather than just showing all the gains and the good things that the majority of these people do on YouTube to get attention. So the TMA Expert Advisor is probably going to have to be put on the side lines for now, and that whole idea of copying is probably going to have to be put on hold. And I apologize for that. There's a couple of you that have already deposited. I'll try to send you a free gift or something because of the trouble. But I recommend just taking that money out and hopefully continuing to watch my channel. All right, so The next topic I wanted to cover was the private equity firm out. Oh, this one I'll talk about in just a second. This is a live account for Robert. But this paper traded account for the equity firm out in Europe, I'm still waiting, guys. The stuff takes some time. It's been over almost a month and a half since I started paper trading this account, and it's going really freaking well with only 4.37% drawdown and 11.62% profit. Just this week, 1.39. And I'm still waiting to hear. I've been told that I will be trading maybe at least $50,000 starting out, but I do need to have a phone conversation with their entire board of this equity firm out in Europe. So hopefully that goes well. I've been told that it was supposed to be in mid-September, and I haven't heard anything or a lot of information this week about when that actual call is going to happen. But when it does, I'll be able to give you a for sure answer if it is happening or if it isn't. I'd be surprised if it isn't at this point, considering my results. But I'll just have to wait and see. All right. So before I get into why most traders lose, I wanted to talk to you guys about why the TMA strategy is working so well on this test account at RoboForex. It's not because it's a great broker, although I think it's okay. It's because out of all the different TMA EA accounts that I've done over the last couple of months, I've tried so many different risk settings. I've done high risk, I've done medium risk, I've done low risk, but none of them, a good portion of them, were not using this risk account. And why is that? Why did I set the risk amount to a much safer area on this particular RoboForex account for this private equity firm? Because it's a big deal to me. It's really freaking important that this account does well. And so I tried different risk levels to try to increase that grow a small account into something big. It's that whole idea that kept causing me to run into issues with the TMA expert advisor. And I didn't have to push this account. I didn't have to prove to people or try to grow those small accounts into something large with this particular private equity firm, because it's not something that they were requiring to do. They have endless amounts of cash that I could potentially trade. And so it's more important that I get good results instead of high gains. And that's pretty much where I'm wanting to go with my trading from here on out. I'm going to not be using overseas brokers anymore because they seem too much like casinos. I'm going to be using brokers like Oanda here in the States that give me 51 leverage, which is still a good amount to work with. And going for 2 to 4% profit per month instead of looking for 20, 30% per month, or even 10% in most cases. So I'm going to be really pulling back my whole idea of trading because I think we're in the day and age where that is allowed. For example, a good strategy that can pull 2 to 4% per month is way more important than a strategy that can do 100% within a couple of months after burning or losing 10 accounts before that. So one great account that gains 100, 200, 500%, but before getting that profit of 500%, you lost 10 accounts before that trying to over risk your account and turn a small account into something big. So that is just not real trading to me. That's just gambling. And it's taken me this long to really give up on that idea. And it shouldn't have taken me this long, but I think we're finally in the age where we can really pull back our risk and look for strategies that do 2 to 4% per month. Yes, that doesn't seem like a lot to a good portion of us because the good majority of us don't have large accounts. But we do have prop firms like thefivers.com that allow us to not even risk a good majority of any money in some cases. These prop firms that require a small upfront fee or even a smaller a monthly fee allow us to, if we have a good strategy, to trade multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so I'm going to be refining my channel even more focusing on money management and strategies that help us gain 2 to 4% per month in a reasonable with reasonable risk. So we can potentially trade at these prop firms. And so hopefully the advice I give you moving forward will help you prepare for potentially trading at prop firms like the Fivers.com. There's so many of them now. There's so many good choices when it comes to proprietary firm trading. That's what we should be preparing for, instead of throwing away $500, $1,000, even $2,000 here and there, trying to get massive gains each month. It's just not realistic trading. So let's get into the biggest topic of this video, which is now 10 minutes later, is why do most traders lose? And I guess you're gathering why I think that a good majority of traders lose is because of the over-risking fact. If you go on Google and you search why 95% of traders lose, this is one of the first things that comes up. If a trader does not take their original stop loss, and they will allow small losses to become big losses. Big losses generally are what cause a trader to be unprofitable. Many good trading systems become profitable simply by removing the big losses from the trading results. Yeah, that's great advice, and that can be true. But I think it's more about people over-risking, where they put a stop loss in place, but they are over-risking their account, where they lose 50% of their account when that stop loss is hit. So it's not about having small stop losses or large stop losses. It's about having really horrid money management. And, I'm a victim of that as well. Can I say a victim? Or I could just say that I'm just dumb at over-risking particular trades. So going to the charts now I'm going to show you what an example of that is. A lot of us are trying to find that Holy Grail type of system, that system that really makes great gains, that allows us to really pinpoint the accuracy of our trades. So, money management doesn't really matter that much. If we can get in right when the market turns into our favor, that's what we're all looking for. I'm telling you that system doesn't exist and we keep continuing to look for it. Everybody keeps saying, oh, the Holy Grail doesn't exist. Is it because it hasn't been built, or is it because it's just not possible? And my idea is that it's just not possible. A system isn't the reason why somebody loses. How somebody trades that system with their money management techniques, that's the reason why that system loses. In most cases, there are so many good systems out there that can potentially give you a profit, but most people just don't trade them right. So if we're going to, for example, the pound Canadian dollar, and I'm hoping that I can show you this really quickly. This is my trading strategy that I was considering selling for $1,000. Even had it listed on my website for a little bit for $1,000. Even had somebody offer me $1,000, and I turned it down. This was after I released the video and took everything down from my website that was paid. I turned down that person because I just didn't think it was time. All right, so let's talk about the trades, how the system works. And it's really simple, and I've modified it so it takes even higher accuracy trades. So, for example, like the ones that you see right here. Let me get my Epic pen out if it's going to. There we go. Okay. So let's take these trades right here. So they're with the trend. This is my blue trend indicator. It shows me that the trend is up on the 4-hour chart. And my previous system used to take these small arrows with the trend pushing down, right? And they were pretty accurate, but I needed something that showed a more extreme condition in the trend. So we're getting in at the best possible area in the market with the least possible drawdown. And that's so hard to find with any system. So I feel like I've built pretty much the system that everybody's looking for. And I actually even built an expert advisor out of it. And that's where things got really interesting. I was really excited about it because I'm thinking that no trend system can get better than this. And I found out that the expert advisor over years of trading still struggles with the strategy, the methodology with the strategy, even with it being this good. And let me just scroll back a little bit and show you how good it actually is and give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So there you have it, pushed up, and we have profit, right? And what about these trades here? We have these three that eventually got pushed up, and now they're in like 350 pips profit. You have these entries here, and this is just one pair, and you'll see the strategy acting like this on every single pair, where you have a push up, and it actually is really accurate. But the thing is that it's not as good as you may think, because you're thinking that, oh, this is a great signal, this is an A+ signal, right? And they're not A+ signals and B+ signals and C signals, or like entry points into the market. They all have the same potential of profit. And I guess I'm going into the route that to say that I believe that the markets are random, and it doesn't mean that we can't profit in them. It just means that we need really tricky and good, well thought out money management in order to beat the market. This system is one of the best I think I've ever created and seen out there. But there are still problems with it, and I'm going to get into what I came across just recently. Okay, so this signal is an A+ signal to me, and it pushed up, and I was expecting it to push up more, and it just didn't. So what happened? It went down further and got a second indication. I took that one as well, thinking that would push up. No. Third indication, this one. I already stopped out at this point before I could even take the third push back up. So the idea here was I went too far in on this one and on this one, and I didn't have any room for the third opportunity when the market did end up pushing back up. And look at what happened from that entry point. Bam, and it's still going. And that is almost 400 pips at this point. And, I'm not going to enter on this trade expecting 400 pips. I have no idea that this was going to move up. My exit point from the third opportunity would have been right here, which was about 100 pips. And that would have been a decent trade, but nowhere near 400 pip gain on that position. Okay? So they're all A+ potential trades. This does not mean there's not any potential for this one to push up any more than this area right here. I mean, just because it's at a support area as well doesn't mean that it's any more likely to jump from there. The thing is that everybody keeps trying to find that strategy that gives them the A+ setup, the Holy Grail of systems. And this is pretty much it. And I'm here to tell you that it still has problems. It still has problems, and it requires clever money management to get around that, to make it a profitable system, which it is in its actual form and its expert advisor form. But you need to be clever with how you do the money management, even with the best possible system. So stop looking for that system that gives you the best potential entries, because you're not going to be able to find it. You might be able to build something that has a lot of potential, but it's still going to have problems, and you're going to still need some really good money management in order to come out alive. All right. So just looking at some other positions here, look at all these great trades, and the ones here as well. The market did move down on the trend, but then you have trades like this that are actual losses. These are still A+ setups, and there's still a lot of potential to move up from there, and it just didn't. It moved down. We got a trend change. We ended up having these trades ended up having to take a loss right in that area. So that's why I feel like most traders lose, is because we are over risking with these small accounts, trying to grow them in by hundreds of if not thousands of percent. And we are all losing, chipping away at small accounts over and over and over again until we just have to either stop trading in general, or we've lost, $30,000-$50,000, which I'm not the only one that has been that's reported losing a good amount of money in the forex market. So many people are they secretly hide that information to themselves, to their families, to individuals. I mean, nobody would ever say that on a YouTube channel that they've lost that amount of money, because why would anybody want to say that? It makes them look bad. But I don't care. My channel has been about honesty ever since the beginning, and hopefully people are learning from my mistakes and learning from my progression of my Forex trading over the last 14 years. To hopefully gain some knowledge that will help prevent you from making the same mistakes. And if maybe you watch my channel just for entertainment, I know some people do that as well. So let's rebuild what I've done here. And instead of trying to increase a small account in something to thousands of percents of gain, let's work on doing 2 to 4% per month and doing that consistently, so we can potentially trade at a proprietary firm, which are so many options now. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a good weekend, and let's pick up where we left off on modifying our strategies so they are more consistent in the longer term. Thanks for watching. See you next time.